welcome to Knockbro Nation.
Welcome back, guys.
Hey guys, today we're here to get some
Vent.
things off our chest and vent.
Yes, vent.
And that is, guys, the fate of Carl Grimes. So, spoiler alert, guys, if you guys have not been caught up on the Walking Dead mid-season finale, make sure you stop the video here, come back for this rant.
And there'll probably be some spoilers too in the comic book series as well. So if you're not caught up in the comics, you might be spoiled there as well. Also, make sure if you're new to subscribe to the channel. And let's get this going.
Let's get into it. So, obviously, we know at the mid-season finale that Carl reveals that he's been bitten. It appears that he was bitten in the woods with Sadiq when they encountered the walkers.
Yep, in episode 6.
And as we went over in our review, he pushed that walker off, briefly looked down at his side, and then in the mid-season finale revealed that he was indeed bitten.
Yep, and the bite is pretty substantial, and at the end of that episode, he was, from the fighting and everything that he did to save the people, he was looking deathly ill. It looked like the sickness is now starting to take over.
Yep. So I'll ask you first. Why are you upset?
I'm upset because it honestly makes no sense. Why are you killing Carl Grimes off right now? For me, what this is going to ruin is the Whisperer War plot. Because, spoiler alert if you're not caught up in the comics, Carl is a very pivotal part of the Whisperer War.
He is.
There's other characters that are in that Whisperer War that help Carl become who he is, and then everything that he does after the Whisperer War, up until now, because Carl Grimes is still alive in the comics, is amazing. But now, why did you have to kill him off now?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I completely agree with that point. I stated this in the last video that my assumption in every single episode of The Walking Dead, the show, is that there were two people that were safe always, and that was Rick Grimes and Carl Grimes, simply because eventually we know that Rick is going to die. And the person to what we feel and what every single fan that reads the comics feels is that Carl is the next to take on the role of Rick Grimes, his father. Exactly. He's going to be the next leader. And obviously that's gone now.
It's gone. That's the biggest question. Why?
Yeah.
Why? And we've heard some crazy reports going around that Chandler Riggs was possibly fired. Scott Gimple.
Gimple. It first was released that Carl Grimes, who, look, when he got onto this role, he was 8 years old. 8 years old, yeah. So he's barely had that much of a life, and it was first rumored that they killed him off because he had college that he wanted to go to, and he had another movie. He had a movie role, actually, that he's currently working on.
Right.
That report came out to be false, simply because a post from Chandler's father.
Yeah, Chandler's father basically saying, you fired my son like 2 weeks ahead of his 18th birthday.
Yeah.
He
doesn't trust AMC.
He doesn't trust AMC.
Scott Gimple.
He bought a home in Georgia, not because that's where they're shooting, because he was assuming that he was going to be on for about at least another 3 years.
And that's another thing. The producers and AMC did agree with Chandler Riggs, the actor who portrays Carl Grimes, for those of you that do not know, did tell Chandler, sorry, wow, that he would be on the show for 3 more years, at least. Right?
Yeah.
So I think he was as stunned as everyone else was and I think he actually said that he was actually stunned.
Oh, he was very heartbroken.
And here's to my next point. I've heard that a lot of people said that they're tired of Scott Gimple, that the show hasn't followed the comics, and I think it actually has, since Scott Gimple has joined as the executive producer. Matter of fact, every time Robert Kirkman is interviewed, he raves about how Scott Gimple is one of the largest comic book fans, and we've seen them adapt more and more from the comics. as of late.
Yeah.
And then to see something like this, it just makes you wonder, like, where is the show going after they're going to kill off, probably, aside from Rick, the most important character.
The most important character, and honestly, you know, if you think about, I mean, even in the comics, I mean, Carl has he still has, it's similar to the show. He has a side part. I mean, he doesn't have a true really big part, but he's always there as Rick's, you know, right hand person to kind of guide him back to where Rick needs to be.
Yeah.
And now you could say it's a little bit different in the show. That okay, yeah, he hasn't had too much in the show, but this is Carl Grimes we're talking about. This is Rick's last true blood in the show.
And that's another thing that bothers me is if you think Rick lost his shit when Lori died, I can't fathom, and they'll dumb it down, I think.
Yeah,
but this is his blood. This is his last bloodline. Judith is not his. We know that. He revealed that last season. And for them just to kill off, he went 8 seasons protecting his child, and now all of a sudden he goes out like that. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion.
It's ridiculous, and I've been like seeing so much on social media and some other YouTubers that I've checked out doing reviews and kind of, I mean, I would imagine 95 to 99% of the community are just like, what the fuck what the hell is happening right now? They're petitioning to fire Scott Gimple and I mean AMC, and they were also complaining. I mean, there were people complaining about the episode, watching it live because there were so many ad breaks. They were like, oh my god, they're reeling in the money, but it's ads. It's what companies have to do.
That bothers me.
Yeah,
because it's fans bitching for no reason. It is the number 1 rated television show on cable. You don't get that without advertising.
Right.
Like, and even when you are the biggest television show in cable, you take advantage of that. DVR it. I mean, come back to it.
Exactly.
You know, I don't mind the ads because if it weren't for the ads, we wouldn't have as big a show as we do, honestly.
Exactly. So, I mean, all in all, what are your thoughts on the death of Carl? Or them killing Carl?
I'm fairly upset. I left that episode really questioning how long this show has. To me, I honestly thought that the death of Carl Grimes is the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
To me.
I agree. I honestly don't think of how much longer they're going to push the show out. Maybe 10 seasons, maybe 11. But the big thing for me is that whole, unless they're completely changing their aspect, I mean, for me, the Whisper War is gone.
Yeah.
Unless they completely change things around for the different characters that could fill in the spots for it. Yeah. And the other theories of what they're mentioning about Fear the Walking Dead. But I really don't know where they're going to go after All Out War.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of theories, let's go into the other side of it. Let's take the fan theories that are in love with Carl Grimes and just can't see him going. Let's talk about those theories that he might survive this.
Okay.
One of the biggest theories out there right now is that bite was actually from a whisperer.
No, I don't believe that, because I mean, if you go back and, I mean, why would a whisperer bite another human being?
For confirmation, or for clarification, actually, a whisperer has been known, I believe, to bite. I believe in one of the issues, someone was bitten, I believe, when I think it was a Lookout. I don't remember what issue it was on, but I think they were bitten and they were worried as hell that they were going to turn, and they didn't. Well,
they didn't, because
we know that whisperers bite.
Right. Okay, they can bite, but I mean, yeah, the bacteria is how you turn, is in the bacteria of the dead. But I mean, look, if you go back and watch episode 6, that does not look like a whisperer at all. It looks like an actual walker, but who knows? It was a very quick scene.
Yeah, to go on the theories, though, it could, that's the one case that it could actually be a Glenn going under the dumpster theory.
Right.
Because as we know, whisperers are actually not walkers. They are people wearing walker skin. And that's really the only way it could happen. And people are saying it's a clean bite. It has to come from a human. If it was a walker, it would have bit a bigger hole and chewed right through him. Maybe. I mean, he
Possibly. I mean, it bit through his shirt, so I mean.
Yeah. Look, I hope that theory is correct. I truly do, because I don't want him to go. I think it would be a bullshit theory, but
yeah. And the next theory that I saw was from the very first episode of this season about seeing future Rick, and as we see in that scene, Carl is there.
Carl's in that scene.
Yeah. So what some people are theorizing is that maybe that was a vision that Rick was having about what he felt the future could have looked like. So if you remember him in the very first episode, we saw him a close-up of Rick and his eyes are bloodshot red, crying. This could be from the death of Carl, and he's visioning what he assumed the life could have been, because as we know, that could be an older Judith or Gracie possibly, but Carl is in that scene.
Yeah.
So it could be a vision of that. We don't know, but that's another theory that people have put out there, is that it could be a vision.
I mean, we theorized originally that scene was actually a flash forward to after All Out War, and the pivotal scene in the comics before the big fair between the communities.
Right.
We'll have to wait and see, but I mean, it's frustrating. Yeah. It really is.
Another theory that we've heard is a lot of people are saying, "Oh no, Carl's immune. They'll have Carl is the cure," or something like that.
Let me stop you there. No. For everyone that is saying that, 100% false. I think that most of us know that that's the case, but I've seen threads on Facebook of posts, and I immediately comment, no one is immune. The only person that claimed to be immune was on Fear the Walking Dead, and that person was lying about it.
Right. Yeah. I don't believe that immune theory at all. The Whisperer one, very small percentage, but I doubt it.
There's one more.
Yeah, well, which one am I forgetting?
The blood transfusion theory.
Oh, God.
So Carl was shot in season 2, I believe in the same spot, actually, or close to it.
Yeah.
And he received a blood transfusion from Herschel using, I think, his dad's blood.
From Rick, yeah.
And I've heard theories that because he got a blood transfusion, he will be immune, which makes no sense at all.
Doesn't make any sense unless they're saying Rick is immune. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't believe that at all. I think
it's honestly it's fans reaching out, wanting it to be true, wanting it to not be true. That he's gonna die, and unfortunately, guys, from the teaser trailer of season 8B, if you guys have not seen it yet, check it out. Rick is immediately at a grave.
As we know, we have to wait till February to find out, but we're pretty much assuming it's going to be Carl.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've seen a bunch of people on threads and other videos where they're like, okay, because of this, I'm not watching The Walking Dead anymore. Well, then, for me, honestly, then you're not a true Walking Dead fan. You're a Carl Grimes fan if you're going to stop watching the show. Same thing with like if Daryl was killed. Daryl's a character who's not in the comics. You're a fan of Daryl. If he dies,
I almost understand it though with Carl. Kind of. I understand it more with Carl than I do with Glenn and Abraham. Like, you heard that when Glenn and Abraham died, and people were like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch it anymore."
Well, it's because they didn't know the comics.
You weren't a true fan because they were supposed to die that way.
Yes.
But this one's
different.
Not supposed to happen.
This one's different. Carl Grimes is still alive in The Walking Dead, issue 174, kicking hard, kicking ass.
Playing a prominent role in rebuilding the hilltop.
And now in the show, he is dead.
Ugh.
And it makes no sense. And that is just what pisses us off, is that it doesn't make any sense in the story.
Yeah.
At all.
It almost doesn't make enough sense to not be true.
It's true. If this is an elaborate hoax from AMC and the family and everybody, then
look, let's go into that.
I will say F you because that's messed up.
Let's go into that. There are rumors that the family is being paid to put posts out there to make it seem like Carl was fired, and that it's all a hoax for AMC to obviously leave that cliffhanger and
to bring in more. They're going to get more ratings in the premiere anyway.
I don't know now.
Yeah, they will.
But
will.
anyway, that's just another reach for fans that want to believe Carl doesn't die.
Yeah, no, they will definitely get their ratings will go up the premiere because how they left on that cliffhanger and because there's so much information that we don't know. The majority of fans, yes, they believe Carl will die, but they want to see it. They want to know exactly what's going to happen. So I think their ratings will be through the roof on the 8B premiere.
Well, guys, that was our rant. I'm pissed.
I'm pissed. I'm still stewing 24 hours after this episode, and I still can't fucking believe it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're mad now. Let us know what you guys thought of Carl's death, and what you think is going to happen in the season 8 premiere.
Yeah, let us know of the theories of that we've mentioned, the theories, any other theories that you've heard out there, seen on social media threads and or other YouTube videos that you follow. Share this video out, subscribe again to the channel, hit us up, let us know what you think, because we'd love to know, and vent our frustration with us. And if he is dead, then
guys,
here's to Carl Grimes.
Our community comments is a place to vent and to
discuss
and relieve that stress. Feel free.
That's right, guys. All right, we'll be shooting some other Walking Dead videos in between the break. Any other theories that we may come up with, any predictions, any further predictions, or anything that we changed our mind on. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you later. We're Knockbro Nation. We're out.